Welcome to another Flash video tutorial. To get started, I'm going to create a new ActionScript 3.0 document. And to begin, I'm going to save this video as the mouse events video. I suggest you do the same. So I'm going to save, and I already had one, so I'm just going to replace it. And once again, we need two different layers. So I have my actions layer, and I'm going to lock it, and I have my art layer. On my art layer, I'm going to go ahead and draw a block circle. Come on. There we go. A black circle with no fill. And just holding down shift to get my circle. I'm going to turn it into a movie clip by selecting and pressing F8. And I'm going to call it, give it a name of black circle. Click OK. I am going to give it an instance name of BC for black circle. And I click away and make sure if I click on it, it says BC where instance name was. So let's go to our actions layer, frame 1. Click on the actions window. And let's get started. First, let's put a comment saying this is the mouse events video. And this video, so this will cover all the different types, not all the different types of mouse events, but the most useful mouse events. So I'm going to say this will cover how to use the most useful mouse events. So let's get started and do exactly pretty much what we did in the last video. So let's take our instance name, which was BC, add an event listener to it, say it's the type mouse event.click, and say give it the remember click has to be all caps. The reason why it's all caps is because it's a constant. It's just a fun fact, but it needs to be all caps. So then let's give our function a name. So let's say clicked on BC, the function BC, function that we will be calling every time we click on BC. So before we move on, let's just put a comment, say add listener for mouse click to BC. There we go. And now let's create our function. So function, what do we name it? We named it click on BC. So I'm just going to copy and paste that. And now, remember we have to tell it what to expect. So we're expecting a mouse event. Remember the letter E just stands for the word event. Remember I said before, don't worry about this thing popping up here. If it does on yours, cool. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. So anyway, and our parentheses, tell it it's type void. Put our opening curly bracket, and there we go. We have a function. And what do we want to do when we click on our black circle? We want to trace out, clicked somewhere on BC. Oops, and I forgot to put the end of my double quotes. So let's put one more comment saying will execute when BC is clicked on. So I'm going to save, I'm going to run my program, and now, just like before, whenever I click on my movie clip, it's saying in my output that I have clicked on my movie clip, basically whatever I told it to say and trace. So going back to the actions window, let's add some more event listeners. So I went over mouse click. The next one I want to go over is rollover. So let's type add listener for mouse. Actually, let's go, for rollover. Actually, to BC, because we're adding it to our BC movie clip. So BC dot add event listener mouse event dot roll underscore over, and we need to give our function a name. Call it let's call it roll over BC. And if you remember from our API link. I just typed in mouse event, clicked on mouse event, went down to public constants. Here is rollover. So all these will be here on this API thing. If you want to play around with any of these other ones, or look them up if you forgot, just look up mouse event in the API. So going back to our code, we've added an event for rolling over our movie clip. But what does rollover mean? Rollover is when you basically go from having your mouse not over your movie clip to being over your movie clip. And maybe that's better to explain. So I'm going to create another function that will execute when mouse rolls over BC. So keyword function to tell it that we're creating a function, and the function will be called rollover BC. BC. And we need to give it a the event type that it's picking up. So just give it letter E, remember, and say it's type mouse event, end our parentheses. And remember, we're not returning anything, so we put colon void, and then we do our 2 curly brackets. Now that we're in here, let's trace out rolled over BC, and all that stuff. Save and run. And now when I click on BC, you see I have click, and when I go from not having my mouse off of my movie clip and I go onto it, you see it says rolled over, rolled over, roll over, roll over. So let's go ahead and add the opposite of roll over, and we're gonna add a listener for roll out of BC. And the way we do that, type our name, what we're adding it to, and we're adding an event listener, saying it's a mouse event dot roll underscore out is this one. And the name for this function will be roll out BC, and all of our stuff there. So let's go down here. I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit. Let's go down here, and this function will execute when mouse rolls out of BC. So function roll out BC, give it the mouse event, not returning anything, so void, put our open and close curly brackets, and now when we're inside here, let's say trace rolled out of BC, and this will just get executed whenever your mouse goes from being inside your movie clip to outside. So I'll show you, demonstrate. If I hover over it, it says rolled over. If I click, it says clicked. And if I go outside of it, it says rolled out. So roll over, roll out, roll over, roll out, roll over, roll out, and blah, 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 blah. So moving on, two more things. So remember from our buttons, we had over. Well, I just kind of did over for you there. We also had up and down frame. So this is very similar to that. So I'm going to say add listener for, and what are we going to listen for? This time we're going to listen for mouse pressed down on BC. So BC dot add event listener mouse event, and what we're going to type here is mouse underscore down, and the function we're going to create for that is going to be mouse down BC, and our parentheses and our line with a semicolon. So let's go down here and create our function. So we'll execute when mouse is pressed down, oops, not found, down on BC. Yay! So function, what do we name it? Mouse down BC. Remember, we needed the type mouse event, so we're passing it in. We're going to say void because we're not returning anything, and give it our curly brackets. So when we're in, so whenever we press the mouse down on BC, we're going to say mouse went down on BC. So we have the mouse press and all that stuff. Now I'm going to run. So we have roll over, click and hold. Sorry, I'm not clicking yet, but I pressed the mouse down. So it said mouse went down on BC. And then I let go. Now it's saying clicked. And if I roll out, it says roll out. Cool. So the opposite of mouse down is, you guessed it, mouse up. So very last one, do add listener for mouse up on BC. BC dot add event listener mouse event dot mouse up, and we're going to call it mouse up BC. And I save and just go to the bottom here, and this will execute when mouse is released on BC. So I say function mouse up BC, make sure that this matches this up here. Remember, we're passing in our mouse event, and the parentheses return type is void. We're not returning anything. Open parentheses, or sorry, open curly brackets and close the curly brackets. They kind of look like mustaches. Like if you were to put, two eyes here and look at it sideways, it's a little mustache. Now it's a guy with a mustache sticking his tongue out. Sorry, I got distracted. What's going on? Okay, so we're using mouse up. So this will execute when the mouse is released on BC. So let's trace out. Trace mouse was released on BC. And all this, save it. And now if we roll over, click, press our mouse button down. So it says mouse went down on BC. You go up, and you can see it says mouse was released on BC. And because we went down and up on BC, we ended up clicking on it, and then we rolled out when we moved out. So if I click outside of our movie clip, and I click and drag basically, and then I let go over the movie clip, you can see it says released, but it doesn't say clicked like it did before. So if I click, well, now my output's getting all crazy, but if you click, it's going to show you mouse up, mouse down, and clicked if you do it all on your one movie clip. But let's do something just a little more exciting. So that's about all there is to your movie clip, or sorry, your mouse events. These are the most important ones. We're going to have click when you click on it. Roll over is just when your mouse goes from outside of your movie clip to on top of it. Roll out when it goes from inside to outside. Down when you're holding your mouse button down, and up when you release your mouse button over the movie clip. And here, just to do something with motion, a little more than just text, right? Whenever you have the mouse down, let's do bc.start drag. And what this is going to do is when we have the mouse button down, it's going to start dragging around our movie clip. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to run, and now if I if I press down on my mouse, now I can drag around my movie clip. But even though I let go of it, it's still kind of, going all crazy. It's still following my mouse. The way that we fix that is on the mouse up. When we let go of the mouse, we want to say bc.stop drag. And now this isn't going to be perfect, but when we press down, we'll start dragging our mouse. When we we'll start dragging our black circle. And when we let go of our mouse now, we will stop dragging our circle. So we test this out. Here we go. We have click, and now it's moving around, and I let go, and there you go. Now it's stopped. So now I have a little game or program where I can move my movie clip around the stage inside of my program. So that's about it. Those are the most popular mouse events. Put more comments on these if you need to. Keep this file, do not lose it. This will be very helpful for you to look back on later and figure out how everything works, or just which options are available to you. So thank you for watching this video, and I bid you adieu.